Hello, welcome to today's poem. It's been a while since I've done one, and I'm doing one today which has a purpose because my new book has just been launched yesterday, and it's called Moulded from Ferrous, a pristine new copy. Moulded from Ferrous, selected early works, because I've written poems all my life, but I started writing them seriously and sending them off only in the last 10 years. This was one of the first, well, one of the earliest ones I wrote when I started sending them off, and it's an old favourite of mine. It's really about Middlesbrough, where I come from, and it's about where loads of people in Middlesbrough come from, which is Ireland. Middlesbrough, the history of it was that it started producing iron in huge quantities in the 1840s. And then very shortly afterwards, within a handful of years, they found iron in the hills just south of Middlesbrough. And it became like the Californian gold rush. In actual fact, there's an area just outside Middlesbrough called California after that, because it was very similar. But this was an iron rush. And so they needed loads of workers to come in, because Middlesbrough was tiny. There was nothing there really, it was a farmhouse. So they looked around, and they got key workers from all around Europe, Germans and Dutch and all over the place, even Japan. But where a ton of people came from was Ireland, because there was a famine on, obviously. And that's where my family came from, hence the name Gallagher. And loads of people in Middlesbrough have Irish roots because of that. So that's what this poem's about. It's called Moulded from Ferrous. And you can buy the book from my website, the details of which will appear underneath this poem on the YouTube channel. Moulded from Ferrous. This town was moulded from Ferrous, on the backs of the Irish and the miners shipped in from the Southland to these badlands. From the stench of the chimneys to the quench of the bars, lining the streets of a town made of iron. On the bodies of every Patrick and Michael, and Rose and Colleen, and the skinned knees and elbows of thousands of children, playing and dancing on cobbles and grime, they're building a future in three-quarter time. And down in the King Billy, they're drowning their cares, draining the dregs from the last of the kegs. But while daddies are drinking, mammies are cleaning. While all in the one bed, 4 babies are dreaming of one day maybe's living on the posh side of the rails. But their horizons were made up from choking smoke trails. This town was moulded from Ferrous, and the blood of the Irish, and the pride of its people, and the sinews and sweat of the men underground, and the ashes of all who expired in her furnace. All those Patricks and Michaels, Roses and Colleens, they all burnt their boats on the river of dreams.